With nearly 500,000 Bitcoin in its reserve, Strategy is rapidly emerging as one of the best performing assets of all time. But is it undervalued right now? Well, in this video, I'll break down Strategy's massive Bitcoin holdings and the key performance metrics driving its success. We'll dive into the jaw-dropping stock performance that's outpaced both Bitcoin and the Nasdaq. Plus, I'll explore some crucial valuation metrics to see if Strategy is undervalued and its risk to reward potential right now. Let's begin by examining the exact number of Bitcoin held in Strategy's strategic treasury reserve. As of now, they hold over 499,000 Bitcoin on their balance sheet, with an average cost basis of $66,000 per Bitcoin. They've been consistently acquiring more Bitcoin each quarter since the third quarter of 2020, and they are rapidly approaching the 500,000 Bitcoin milestone. This represents more than 2.3% of the total Bitcoin supply that will ever exist. One of the most crucial metrics to focus on is the number of shares required to own one Bitcoin. At present, just 589 shares of Strategy equate to the value of one Bitcoin. This figure has been steadily decreasing each quarter since their strategy's inception in 2020, and it forms a cornerstone of their approach. Another way to assess the performance of their strategy is by looking at Satoshis per diluted share. This metric tracks the quarterly change in Bitcoin holdings per diluted share, meaning you receive more Satoshis, or fractions of a Bitcoin, per share of Strategy as time passes. Right now, this stands at 169,000 Satoshis per share, indicating that shareholders are receiving more Satoshis per share than ever before. Next, let's turn to their key performance indicator, Bitcoin yield. This represents the percentage change in Bitcoin or Satoshis per share, helping measure their holding efficiency in relation to dilution from share issuance. So far in 2025, the Bitcoin yield is 6.9%. This means that by holding Strategy's stock, you've accumulated 6.9% more Bitcoin than if you had purchased Bitcoin directly. This metric is vital. It's their primary performance indicator. While they've targeted a 15% annual Bitcoin yield, in 2024 they achieved an impressive 74%. Moving forward, while the Bitcoin yield measures performance in Bitcoin terms, we can also assess the annualized performance in dollar terms. Since adopting their Bitcoin strategy, Strategy has achieved a remarkable compound annual growth rate of 92%. In comparison, Bitcoin, historically the top asset for risk-adjusted returns, is currently at 56%. The tech-heavy Nasdaq index stands at 15%, while the S&P 500 is at 13% over the same period. On a total return basis, we can see that Strategy not only outperforms all stocks, but also leads as the best performing asset since the inception of their strategy. The Bitcoin game plan has delivered an 1,800% return since August 2020. However, when we look at the market cap rankings of the top 10 US companies, Strategy currently sits at number 152, with a market cap of $68 billion. In contrast, giants like Apple, Nvidia, and Microsoft each hover around the $3 trillion mark. Strategy still has significant ground to cover, but with its impressive compound annual growth rate, it won't be long before it starts closing the gap with these major players. Let's now dive into some key valuation metrics. Currently, the MVRV for Strategy is at the break-even point, meaning it's neither overvalued, like it was during the massive rallies to 70,000 and 100,000, nor deeply undervalued, as we saw at the lowest points of the bear market. With the market in a clear uptrend, this signals that Strategy is trading at a historically low valuation compared to its past performance, making it a noteworthy moment for investors. When we dive deeper into the 155-day VWAP signal, we notice that the price has dipped into undervalued territory, which suggests that short-term holders of Strategy are currently feeling some pain as the price has dropped. This situation creates a unique risk-to-reward buying opportunity, as the price drop has likely created an attractive entry point for long-term investors who believe in the potential of strategy. Also, by examining the Bitcoin holdings price bands, we can see that Strategy's price is now heading toward the lower band, which is currently sitting at $169, with the upper band at $539. Over time, Strategy's price has fluctuated within these bands, offering valuable insight into when the stock is particularly undervalued or overvalued relative to its historical performance. At present, the price is trending toward the undervalued region, approaching the lower end of its historical price range. This is important because when prices fall into this lower band, it signals that the stock could be trading below its true value, providing a potential buying opportunity. If the price starts to recover or rebound, there could be significant upside potential as it moves back towards the higher end of its price range. Given the current market conditions, the historically low valuation, and the price trends we're seeing, this seems like an ideal time for investors to consider entering or increasing their positions in Strategy, especially for those looking to capitalize on the potential for long-term gains. So, to wrap things up, let's take a look at some of the key points we've covered today. First off, Strategy has accumulated nearly 500,000 Bitcoin, which is over 2.3% of the total supply that will ever exist. What's impressive here is that the number of shares required to own a single Bitcoin continues to decrease, showcasing the efficiency of their approach as they steadily acquire more Bitcoin each quarter. Then there's the incredible performance of Strategy itself. Since adopting its Bitcoin strategy, it has posted a 92% compound annual growth rate, far outpacing Bitcoin and even some of the best performing stocks in the market, like Nvidia. When you look at it on a total return basis, it's not just a top performing stock, it's the best performing asset since its Bitcoin game plan began. Lastly, if you're looking at the current market conditions, Strategy's valuation is currently quite attractive. The stock is in undervalued territory, with its price approaching the lower band of its historical range. For anyone considering an entry point, this could present a solid risk-to-reward buying opportunity as the price is trending toward that undervalued region. And that's all for today's analysis. Want more in-depth insights on today's topic? If you prefer written content, join my free newsletter for exclusive analysis. Click the link in the description. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.